Hi, I'm Eric Summerer, and here's what's coming from the Dice Tower this week.
Hey, and welcome to the Dice Tower News for February 4th, 2013. Lots of exciting things are happening. We are now into the second month of the year. Hopefully, I'll start saying 2013 at this point in time. But there's lots of board gaming news, and you can find out a lot of the news that we put up here at GameBugle.com. Robert Searing and I, we get the news there, so all kinds of board gaming news you can find there. Speaking of which, let's talk about it. Gaming world, Asmodee has announced that this coming Gen Con, they're going to be releasing an expansion to their popular game Seasons. This expansion is going to have 40 cards, and it's going to actually have some chips that will fit into those holes that you have in the expansion. I thought that's where you put your dice. They didn't really say what those holes were for, but you'll have some chips to put in there. What are the new special abilities and stuff? They say wait and find out. Fantasy Flight is talking a little bit more about Relic 40K, which is coming out soon, which is basically a Warhammer 40,000 take on the very popular game Talisman. So there's some of that. AEG has released a love letter. AEG has released a newsletter, a love letter, thank you, company, talking about their game Love Letter. And it was so popular, sold out quickly, they're going to have to reprint it, but they announced that reprint is on the way, and they're still talking more about their expansion for their popular card game Smash Up. A couple neat things have showed up on Kickstarter, including a reprint of the board game Drumroll, which is about starting your own circus. So that's up on Kickstarter now. It's a game that I thought was a fairly decent Euro game with a pretty neat theme of starting a circus. I reviewed it a year ago. It's going to be released at Essen if this Kickstarter succeeds. Our news story of the week is that Odin's Ravens by Thorsten Gimler, who's done some great games, including No Thanks. But Odin's Ravens is a two-player Cosmos game that I have enjoyed. It's a great two-player racing game, and it's going to be reprinted via a Kickstarter campaign by a new company called Works Limited. It's going to be in a smaller box with some new artwork. Looks pretty cool. I'm really glad to see this game being reprinted, so you can check out that Kickstarter, and I'm just glad that that's a neat Kickstarter. Get involved with it. Time for the Dice Tower Network news. Little Metal Dog number 52 has been released, in which Michael interviews Phil Orbanes, who's the world's most renowned expert on Monopoly. So they talk a little bit about that classic game. And Philip Dubarry, designer of Courtier and Revolution, some great games. Plaid Hat number 79, James interviews Corey Bullock, who's now the lead playtester of Summoner Wars, and gets his backstory. Gameopolis number 24, they've been on the air now for 3.5 years, so they're going back and taking a look at their top 10 games of all time. Flip the Table number 21. I don't know how these guys managed to keep outdoing themselves and finding such horrific games, but this time they take a look at the All My Children board game. I wish I was only there to play it with them. The D6 Generation, number 119, they have Kurt Covent on as their third chair from Smirk and Dagger Games, so you can listen to that one. And Hex Encounter number 11 has an interview with John H. Butterfield, who is a designer of many well-known war games, including the popular solitaire game Ambush. We also like to welcome two new podcasts to the Dice Tower Network. We have the Spiel, llama.de. They are basically the Dice Tower in Germany. Lots of video reviews in German, hosted by Benjamin and Bastian. So to all our German listeners, here is a podcast for you. And the Geek All-Stars, with an all-star cast and lots of geek insiders who come on their show. They don't talk just about board games. They also talk about card games and art role-playing games and the geek genre in general, but they do spend a good chunk of time on board games. So we're glad to have both of them with us. And then, of course, the Dice Tower has a new episode coming out this week in which we talk about our top 10 games from 2003, 10 years ago. Did any good games come out 10 years ago? Are we still playing them today? Listen to our show and find out. So what reviews are coming out from the Dice Tower this week? Well, I hesitate to tell you because we haven't while our Kickstarter is running, we haven't done so well at getting these videos out as fast as I wanted to. However, I can tell you this. There's a lot of game reviews coming this week, including some classics from Ryan Metzler, one from the Chief, a top 10 list from me, Sam, and Z, a possible review from the Miami Dice without me, a pile of games that I have to look at, including a few cool, new, neat gems and several pretty poor ones. Which ones are which, you'll have to wait and see. So all that is coming. Lots of excitement there this week. All right, folks, don't forget you can always vote in the People's Choice Top 10 games. If you're watching this today or on Tuesday, you still have a chance to get into the best games from 1998, 15 years ago. If you go after that, you'll be able to vote in the top 10 games to play at conventions. When you go to a board game convention, or I guess any convention, what are the best games to go and play there? And so you have a chance to do that. So that's lots of exciting. Don't forget, this is basically the last week for the Dice Tower Kickstarter. If you like our show, if you like watching our videos, we have lots of cool things. We added some neat dice. I got my brand new dice just came in. There's some pretty cool colors. And so that's exciting. Lots of cool aspects. I just did a video update. You can check that out over at our Kickstarter page. Don't forget, also Remy Gibson puts out the news 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Audio podcast of the news, 5 to 10 minutes long, very faithfully, so you can always subscribe to that. And I think that's about it. There's a lot of different things. You can find out all our information at Dicetower.com. Oh yeah, the Dice Tower Convention in July. Come on now, you know you want to come. It's going to be spectacular. We have almost sold out half the tickets at this point in time. So don't delay. We sold out last year. We expect to sell out this year. Don't wait. Get your rooms now. Get your reservations. Come out and see us at Dice Tower Convention in Orlando.